Astrological report, we have the moon, 28 degrees 25 minutes in Aries, and then it moves, the sun and the moon move into Taurus. Well, this degree says celestial harmony. There's a dominant cosmic order, we can agree. And so this means the music of the spheres, a beautiful celestial harmony degree that speaks of realization of polyphonic principles. He who advances the past must seek to understand its place in human evolution in deep harmony to the universe. If we listen to our inner voice. New moon at 18 hours, 18th of April 2015. The lunation of the energies of Aries, a yang principle, cardinal fire. This theme always is in play. Jupiter, planet of joviality, opposite to Venus and Saturn, makes a T-square to Neptune, and Saturn and Pluto are in retrograde. The lunation at Saturn bi-quintile 144 degrees. Lots of light with this new moon, well known to gardeners. New moon following the Easter holidays. In Aries, Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus in fire signs. And planets in cardinal signs, the axis lunar nodes is still in Aries, Libra. Only Neptune, Chiron is in the water of Pisces, but his planet is apex T-square formed from opposition to Venus and Saturn. Mars, the planet of the lunar month, is in Taurus. It was exactly square to Jupiter a few hours before the new moon. Impulsiveness and imprudence not conducive to a good self-control. Pass on one of the most extreme enthusiasms to exaggerated rage. Is too proud susceptibility of conflicting authority brands. A lack of tolerance to risk of breaches of legal or financial reverses. This is a power struggle in question between Mars, one of the warrior gods, and the fear of losing his persona, Jupiter in Leo, or the break with the comfort which can bring. Comfort it can bring. The trine of Pluto of Earth signs may exacerbate our own fears, determination to drive in a hard line of fears to clean what needs to be. But how do we proceed, lucidly or in a destructive self-defense reaction? The atmosphere of March and April eclipses is still there, but how do we meet the demand of total change of attitude? April 8th, Jupiter departed straight phase and reading square with Mars, master of the lunar month, is indeed a shift to assert a need to get out of the various shackles in which it was possible to feel trapped. Time to soar, to decide on what we want to keep together. The trine of Uranus forms since September 2014, right again in early March. During this demotion will accurate again on June 22nd. A fire trine at Aries, Leo, which should allow to express themselves, to take initiatives that can bring to change in Uranus in Aries, and therefore a whole of fact upside, but we do not take the next action, intuition, and creation. However, attention to narcissism might get this Jupiter in Leo if we'll use an oversized ego. Saturn is still in retrograde. He just went 3 degrees in Sagittarius, where it will stay there for around 17 days. He returned in late December of 2014. The Sagittarius flame on his wild horse, independent, supported perhaps on the principles of the past, not wanting to be led by the opinion of others. Has he realized that living traditionally finally too restrictive side, or being his own disciple and do not obey the requirements of the other, is not always consistent with a mutation to integrate or to connect. Its exact bi-quintile for this new moon can put us in a moment of energy in the relationship towards the universe. Anyway, he will need to return back into Scorpio. There will be 3 months during the summer to narrow in that passage between the two signs. A better way of living, a common destiny, whether that is an individual level or on the level of the collective humanity, whether in private life or in society. He understood that we must replace the I by us, but there is still an emotional immaturity that prevents the building up with, and not only into his beliefs, and not only into his own beliefs. Saturn is Sagittarius, is at Jupiter. On 18th of September, when he returns for the second time in Sagittarius, he may have conquered new fears, new relational rigidities that prevented him initially to prepare a new project and a more tolerant and do live together. For now, it is in the orb square to Neptune, um, an uncrossing square that will work throughout the year of 2015, but will correct that in November. Hard aspect, chaotic, irrational, prone to errors in judgment, will has a rudder, and yet amid all the crisis, social, economic, political, socio-cultural, etc., Saturn in Sagittarius, through deep anguish left by the 7 passages of the Uranus-Pluto square, that required a total recognition of our own institution, we began to understand what to let go or keep moving forward. The 1st of May, Mercury in Gemini falls in this placement. During this fortnight, it will make a lot of aspects. April 19th, sextile into Neptune. April 21st, Mercury squares to Jupiter. April 22nd, Mercury trines Pluto, and Mercury conjoins in Mars. May, the merry month of May. Mercury joins with Venus in Gemini, multiple contacts and dialogues of the beautiful. Mercury will add to his personal range of verbal exchanges, appointments, projects, implemented likeness. On May 19th, he will begin a demotion period, thoughts on everything related to writing, communication, information on projects to develop with his contacts, increased vigilance on the floor to meet, etc. Venus in Gemini opposes Saturn and squares to Neptune. Poor little Venus, dissonant both saturates and Neptune. She would initiate conversation and receive words of love. It would be charmingly by beautiful butterflies, flirt, seduce, have literary heart, fun and twirl, simply to put a little spice in her love, embroidery. It is as if Mercury is in Taurus, Taurus home. But face it, Father made him frown anyway. Neptune square takes away any critical sense. Because of him, she sees only what it wants to see. Could it be that logical continuation of eclipse duo that has just taken place and asked for a clean break, which was no longer appropriate? Anyway, the time is indicative of weakness or disappointment, or shows carrying a naivety that the bullet, other qualities we'd like to have, especially as the opposition of Saturn, always signs of the narcissistic injury, of non-recognition by the environment, and therefore emotional frustration requesting compensation, complex, shyness, feelings not to be loved or generated, interest, lack of confidence in itself, beware of backfiring, and revenues of relationships, carrier of ambiguity. Conclusion. We are still in the wake of the Uranus-Pluto square chaos generated since 2012 of June. The first square date put us to the test of huge transformation, compulsory and necessary at all levels of social, political, economic, relational, ideological, spiritual. Wherever there was structure, shaving and rebuilding, gradually a new world will emerge. Saturn in Scorpio was first forced us for 2 years. We learned the accept the challenge that allows us another link with others. In this passage of Sagittarius until 2018, it will challenge us even more beyond our own beliefs, those that come from education or the environment. It is in 2018 that Uranus enters Taurus that can achieve originality and spontaneity of initiatives taken during his stay in Aries. Meanwhile, it is a huge project that must be set in motion after the slow demolition that has occurred since 2012. Mars in Taurus trines to Pluto, Mercury also trines to Pluto, and the Sun can't afford to start to achieve. This date of lunation of 18 plus 4 plus 2015 gives us 21, the world, the map of the fullness of a world governed by 4 elements, air, fire, ether, water, and give its limits but which are essential to ordering or harmony. Without them, the dark world into chaos. Thanks to them, the world is organized. The soul of the world is represented on the map by a naked woman who is standing on the right foot in the center of a laurel wreath. Representation of the individuation of collective consciousness, living mirror of our own thoughts. Thank you all for watching. This has been a lunation of the moon in Aries and the aspects that have continued on before and after. Thank you all for watching.